And
Game started.
happy game. Okay, let's try c4, I think. Haven't played that in a while. c4, g6, that's fine. Get a symmetrical setup here. I don't know if it matters whether I develop the bishop first or the knight first, but I think they usually bring the knight out first. So it looks like black is going for a reverse. No, he's just going for a King's Indian setup. Okay. So in that case, I could go with this Botvinnik setup. It's designed to confuse the King's Indian player. That's the plan. Okay, now this is interesting. Do I want to play F3 and unpin right away, or maybe I should play H3? Ask him what that bishop is really doing there. Yeah, not much. So I didn't need to block with F3. So let's castle, and then if he gangs up on the H-pawn, I can play king to H2, like that. Very common idea. So now he puts his knight there. Let's go ahead and play A3 to stop the knight from hopping into this square. I want to play D3 at some point, of course, and develop my bishop. And then this completes the Botvinnik setup. And the bishop can go to E3 here, now that I've got the move H3 and the knight can't come and harass it. So bishop E3 is a very nice square. And black's King's Indian setup is not looking so great against this kind of configuration, I think, because his bishop is blocked in. He does get the knight there. That is the weakness in the Botvinnik setup. And he can cement that there, which I am allowing. I'm going to play around it for a while, but got to be careful. Got to be careful. Knight to B3 is a move. If I play queen D2, knight B3 is a fork, so I should pay attention. Let's well, I could play B4 immediately. Takes. There's no pressure on that pawn, and maybe that helps to undermine that knight. And there's no fear of opening up this diagonal with all these pawns in the way. And now rook to B1. I can play that just to keep his knight from coming into B3. So now it'll be safe for me to play queen D2, connect my rooks. I can continue with pawn to F4 and just try and put a little more pressure on the center and be prepared to break on either side. Let's see, other ideas. Of course, I can always put a knight into D5, but he might just trade it off. So he's preparing to play F5 rather. So should I rush? Should I get my F4 move in before he plays F5, or should I wait? I think I will wait. Let's play queen D2. Let him play F5, and then I'll play F4. If he takes, I'll take back with the knight. If he takes this way, I will back with the pawn. Or I could also take back with the knight. Well, let's go ahead. He didn't play F5, so let's play F4 anyway. That's one of the points of this setup, is to break here on the king side. And now, this is an interesting moment. I was thinking just take with the knight, but taking with the pawn has some merit here too. Trying to push those pawns forward and open up lines against his king. So yeah, he kind of slows that down by pushing F. Pushing f5 himself. So how loose is this knight? It's not yet loose. This diagonal is open, but I've gotten my bishop off, or my rook off that diagonal, so that's not a problem. Knight
server announcement.
Knight to e5 is maybe looking like a good idea here. And now I can take and give him these doubled pawns. I don't know if I can immediately exploit that, but yeah, it looks like maybe that's something to play against in the long run. So he's thinking of just trading my bishop, my knight off. Here, if I put more pressure on that pawn, can he even defend it? Yeah, I think I can just win that pawn. So why don't I go ahead and do it? Take that pawn while I can. Let him trade my knight. I will take back with the c-pawn. I could consider taking with the d-pawn, but I like having an extra pawn in the center there. Ah, he gets a pawn. That's the idea here. He gets the f-pawn. And let's go ahead and take this. So, an interesting structure. There's one pawn versus two on the king side, 2 versus 1 in the center. This e-pawn is kind of backwards. His rook is hanging, but my queen is hanging, so I've got to take the bishop first. So I can get a passed pawn in the center by pushing the e-pawn. Queen is looking at my a-pawn and my rook. The king is under-defended. So queen f2 threatens queen to f8 checkmate. And if he moves the knight, I still have queen f7 check. In any case, he doesn't have time to take a pawn. And where can the knight move to? Here, 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 here. Oh, look. Well, that's out, that's out. So here or here. Here I can check and take the knight. So, that's interesting. That doesn't that still lead to mate? Well, let's think about it then. So if I check on f8, the king goes to h7. I can check on f7 with the rook. The king goes to h6. The king is just mated because my queen on f8 is covering the escape square.
Check.
So happy game is a short game.
Checkmate.
Okay, well, I thought that was interesting. I will upload this and do a postmortem and see you guys later. Bye.